the last comic of the night. We're bringing it up, just so you know the score to the Mavericks. I'm just messing with you, man. This is a teacher. Y'all make some noise for Charlotte Parker!
People tend to assume that I'm Irish Catholic and straight when I'm actually Jewish, queer, and depressed. Thank you. I don't know which one that was for. I'm guessing not the depression. That's usually not a reaction. But I appreciate the support regardless. Growing up, I noticed as a kid that most Jewish holidays have the same basic backstory. It's, hey, remember that time everyone tried to kill us and they mostly failed? You do? Okay, good. Let's eat. That's it. That's every Jewish holiday in a nutshell. Passover was a little different. Passover, the way it was explained to me as a kid was, hey, remember that time your ancestors escaped from slavery and wandered through a desert for 40 years? And, oh, you do? Because we tell you every year? Cool. Well, we're still going to talk about it for what feels like about 5 hours to you young kids while you stare at all this symbolic food that you're not allowed to eat until we're done. And then after that, while your Christian friends are frolicking in a meadow, hunting for eggs and eating candy, you kids get to all hunt for the afikomen, which is a big, bland cracker that we hid in a drawer somewhere. Happy Passover. Not that I'm bitter about it at all, clearly. Some anti-Semitic people like to call us Jews cockroaches. I actually kind of like that, though. Now, hear me out, because other people have been trying to exterminate us for centuries, hence every Jewish holiday. That's not supposed to be the funny part. I mean, security? I mean, like the Inquisition, the Crusades. Hell, I mean, even the dinosaurs were convinced that the Stegesteins controlled the meteor. Give it up for those Stegesteins. But, you know, no matter what, we just keep, just like cockroaches, we keep crawling back out of that. We're like, ha-ha, we're still here. We are the chosen people. Let's go convince everyone to get circumcised, and we scurry away. Because that's actually the real Jewish agenda, if anyone didn't know. Yeah, we're not trying to control the media. We just want every man in the world to chop his dick off for no reason. Weirdly successful at it so far, actually. Speaking of genitalia, y'all know how vaginas are sometimes called beavers? Familiar with this term? Okay. Some of you are learning it tonight. Cool. Well, during the quarantine, mine became more of a wild beaver. Not because it was any more active. It wasn't. But because it became overgrown and feral. I actually heard it growl at one point. It was kind of disturbing. Yeah. I did come up with a new nickname for it during that time, though. I call it Robin now. Because it looked like Robin Williams at the beginning of Jumanji. You know when they let him out of the game, he's been trapped in the jungle for years, he's got a big beard, and he's like, what year is it? That was my vagina last year, and I was like, it's 2021, I should probably shave. So anyway, I work at a children's theater. Or at least until my boss hears this. Oh, he's front and center. Hi, Mike. Mike's great. He's come to multiple shows and has still not fired me, so I appreciate that. Thank you. He actually called me a few years ago because I teach classes, acting classes, and I direct shows, and it's usually with the little kids. But he called me one year asking if I wanted to direct The Diary of Anne Frank. With high schoolers, obviously. There's no Anne Frank Jr., nor should there be. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. And he goes, cool. It's not just because you're the only Jew on staff. I was like, yeah, no, you just thought the comedian should direct it. That makes perfect sense. No follow-up questions. But I was genuinely honored. I was going around telling parents about it, making sure I got enough students signed up. And I told this one parent, and she said, oh, Diary of Anne Frank, cool. Is that a play or a musical? And after a moment, I realized she was not joking. She was also not the only parent that asked me that, which is rather horrifying. So now I'm writing Anne Frank the musical. Thank you. It's gonna happen anyway. I think at least a Jew should write it. Thank you. I think it's gonna be the best Jewsical since Fiddler on the Roof. I'm really excited. Yeah, it's gonna be a jukebox Jewsical too. So it'll be all Beatles songs like "Hey Jude." Thank you. Help. I mean, obviously we have to have that one. There's a few I made some minor adjustments to though, like a "Hey, you've got to hide your yarmulke away." And then there's "Don't let me downstairs." Oh, and then we've also got "Here comes the son of the Nazi." It's gonna be a great show with very quiet dance numbers. I have that coming to a theater nowhere near you. I usually work with the younger kids, which is very fun. I teach a lot of acting classes to kindergartners, and it's a real treat. One of them came up to me once, poked me in the stomach, and said, "Is that a baby?" My first thought was, no, it's an adult with feelings, actually. So much. But, you know, I thought this was a teachable moment. I should talk to her before she ruins some other woman's day. So, took a deep breath, knelt down so it was on her level. And I said, "Listen, bitch. This actually was a baby, but you just poked a hole right through it. So, not anymore." Wow, thank you. Not often you get applause for an abortion joke in Texas. I appreciate that. Oh man. All right, I've been Charlotte Parker. Thank you guys so much.